Hi, my name's Dean Cracknell from SRI Sports, home of the Srixon, Cleveland Golf, Never Compromise and Miyazaki brands. I'll try to keep it concise, but the Miyazaki International Flex Code is a kind of universal system to ascertain the varying sections of flex within a shaft. It's unusual that a shaft will flex in exactly the same fashion throughout its beam length from butt to tip. So what Miyazaki have done is they've taken a shaft at raw length and they've measured flex at 10-inch increments from butt to tip, so 10, 20, 30 and ultimately 40 inches from the tip. And it's at those points that they've then assigned a number to correspond with the amount of flex at that given point. Those four numbers combine to make a 4-digit international flex code that you'll find at the tip end of all Miyazaki shafts. Using those 4 digits, you're then able to understand just where that shaft bends the most and the least, and it gives the shaft its own unique kind of bend profile or flex curve. The concept is actually pretty straightforward. If you aren't able to measure data, if you don't have access to a launch monitor, you can look at what we call swing moves to best identify an appropriate bend profile of Miyazaki shaft. We'll typically consider things like tempo, the transition from the backswing into the downswing, and also the wrist cock angle release, whether that be early, late, or kind of average. So it's kind of combining those 3 swing moves. Maybe the player's got a very smooth tempo, a very kind of smooth transition from backswing to downswing, and maybe typically releases that angle of wrist cock real early. He's going to likely benefit from fairly soft sections throughout, and specifically in the tip. It's then being able to make that progression and use launch data where you can really make those kind of finite tweaks to the shaft and to the flex code that you use. The top half of the shaft is kind of, and how much flex is found in the top half of the shaft is found in the first 2 numbers of the IFC, or the International Flex Code. And there are a number of shafts within the Miyazaki lineup which have very stable and stiff butt sections. It's those shafts typically which suit players that have a very aggressive transition from the top of the backswing into the downswing. These are often players who like to hit the ball really quite hard, or players who like to try to generate club head speed from the very top of the backswing. The bottom half of the shaft and how it behaves is kind of found in the 2 numbers at the very end of the IFC. In the case of the shaft I'm holding here, its IFC is 4631. So it would be fair to say that the bottom half of the shaft is very soft. It's that bottom half of the shaft which significantly influences the launch angle, spin rate, and to a point, feel. Generally speaking, if that bottom half is relatively firm, it's going to feel quite harsh. Of course, that's subjective. But the bottom half of the shaft really kind of comes into its own as soon as that angle of wrist cock is released.